Today on the Implicit Show, it's the Mastermind Fridays. You guys know what we do on Mastermind Fridays, right? We talk about stuff. Today you're going to learn about systems. Tapping into the true potential of the human spirit. This is Humanity Empowered. This is the Implicit Show. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Implicit Show. My name is Bren and Andrew. I'm your host, and right off the bat, man, I gotta say thank you guys. Actually, we just posted a post today on Instagram and Facebook saying thank you for basically we reached 11,000 community members, Facebook followers, likes, whatever you want to call it on Facebook. And it's a pretty good feat for us. You know, we've been working at this for almost a year now, or a little over a year now. And we're just amazed about the community, just the people we've been able to attract, like people who are really out there to grow and to give and to become more. And so for that, I'm super grateful for you guys. Today on the show is going to be pretty fun. We're talking about systems, and you're probably reading the title and you're like, systems, what the heck does that mean? Where are you going with this? And basically what I mean by systems is your habits, your rituals, your systems, how you live your life, the systems that are controlling your life and basically creating your destination and where you're going to end up in life. And today, we got our special guest, Andrew Sales. Andrew, how are you today, man?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Awesome, man. I'm happy to have you. This is the first time you've been on the Mastermind Friday thing, and I'm pretty sure Anthony's going to pop in here at some point too. So, hey, man, you want to be on the show? Come on the show. We're going to have a great time. So tell us a little bit about how you've been, man. What have you been up to?
Oh man, I've been doing great. Added a couple new income streams as far as what I was doing. You know, I was running my energy deregulation teams. I've been building that up, doing a lot of good things with that. I've been expanding my social media consultant business a little bit. This week I've actually brought on 2 new clients, so I'm super jacked about that. And then I've actually been scheduling into my day enough time to start working on content because I'm developing several programs of my own so I can actually help more people because I don't have enough time to take on, so many social media clients.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's exciting to hear that just this week you pick up 2 new clients. And I mean, we've had you on the show. It was like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. And it's good to hear that you're making it happen, man. Making it happen.
Yeah, it's been exciting, man.
That's good. Anyways, I want to acknowledge some of the people in our comment section. We've got ASIC. Alex, what up, man? Always a pleasure. Shelby Ann and Rachel Johnson, you guys are huge supporters. We love you. Thank you. So, yeah, today we're talking about systems. And the reason this came up for me is because I've been taking a lot of time lately to reflect on myself and see what I'm doing with my life. Like, what kind of systems do I have in place? What kind of habits are controlling my everyday life, essentially, right? And I think it's a lot of things that not too many people think about. It's just easily overlooked. Life, we're habitual creatures. We're always getting caught in these ruts because we find a comfort zone, we find somewhere to be safe, and then we get stuck in that, right? That's human nature. But you could break out of that and you could really create an extraordinary life. And so that's really what I want to talk about today. And this comes up for me because in the past, I could remember probably like dozens of times in my life where I got caught in different ruts, emotional ruts, physical ruts, just all sorts of like bad systems and bad habits and bad routines. And I've been able to break a lot of that and actually create systems for my life that actually improve my life and bring me somewhere and do something. So that's what's important to me right now. Andrew, man, you got experience with this, I'm sure, because you and I, we both relate in that sense where we're, always diving into this personal development material and learning and, how to set goals, how to achieve those goals, what kind of habits or systems or hacks or tricks or whatever we could do to improve our production in life, right?
Definitely, man. I think number one, it starts with setting your goal to begin with and setting a big enough goal to where you're going to continue to push yourself day in and day out, just because so often like we're conditioned to underestimate ourselves. So I notice a lot of people set their goals too low, but I'm shooting like fuck the stars, fuck the moon, I'm shooting for an entire another universe with what I'm talking about doing, and people look at me like I'm crazy, but that's the basis behind everything I do, because I'm trying to go so big that I know I have to get out here and out hustle everybody that's already got the advantage on me. So I think key is setting the right goal for yourself, because the right goal is going to motivate you and help you along with your why.
Oh yeah, that's huge, man. I mean, I love what you said. People think you're crazy, and people think I'm crazy too. But I take crazy as a compliment. I love when I hear it. It's like,
Yeah,
you're crazy. I'm like, thank you, thank you.
yeah.
I needed to hear that today. But that's
Yeah,
so true,
definitely.
man. Like you said, step one, you really gotta pick a goal. So many people, they don't know what they want, and I say this all the time, probably every show. But I get asked by, especially young people my age, who, when I ask them, "What's your passion? Like, what are you after? What are you doing? Like, what's your life about?" They always tell me, "I don't know. I'm still trying to find myself. I'm just going with the flow. I'm just seeing what happens right now," and it's that kind of mentality that put me into a depression. It's that kind of mentality that drove me
Yeah,
insane. And so when I finally decided, instead of finding myself, I was going to design myself, and I just decided
yeah.
what goals, like what do I want from my life? And then
Uh,
I started setting goals, and I started setting habits and systems and changing things, and making small tweaks here and there in everything,
yeah.
in my diet, in everything, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, man, because I think that's honestly step number two, or like the biggest next step in it, is for somebody that is in that go with the flow and depression, mindset lifestyle, is when you come up with your goal or what you want to do, you got to take immediate action on it right then and there. And like, even if you don't know where to start or what to do, you have to take some kind of action immediately, whether it's writing down a plan, which a plan is obviously a huge part of it. If you get your plan on paper, or maybe you just take some baby steps, but as long as you take that immediate action, I think it disrupts that pattern you're talking about being in, and going with the flow and being stuck in that lifestyle.
Yeah, I find, like, where I was anyways, along my journey at that point, I was always looking for some kind of answer, but I wasn't really looking for it. I was thinking about it. So I'm just like sitting there thinking, sitting on the couch thinking, going for a walk thinking, thinking about this, thinking about that, and never taking any action like you said. And so
Mm-hmm.
find a lot of people, they just get caught up in their head, and like you said, when you take immediate action, all of a sudden you lose your mind and you come to your senses, right? You stay out of your
Yeah.
head, and you get back into your body and what's most important. And that's life isn't meant to be stuck up here thinking, like sitting there just like trust me, I've been there. It sucks. You
Yeah.
could probably relate. I
Oh,
truly believe
totally.
life's about experience, man. Life's about doing something, moving, right? Moving your body, which is like a unique concept to a lot of people in our culture today. Like, move my body, get up and walk around, exercise, play a sport. What? Take action. Right? And it's I get it, man, because it's tough. A lot of people are in fear. But I find what this episode's going to be about is freeing you guys from that, creating systems in life that automatically get you to where you want to go. Like, you don't even have to put effort in, because it becomes automatic, because that's when things really change. Right? When you're pushing yourself, you're trying, you're working, it's tough. But when you have a system in place that's automatic and you don't even have to think about it, you just automatically wake up and meditate or work out or exercise or make those phone calls or get straight to work or whatever it is that you want to do in life, that's when things really happen. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have any experience with this, Andrew?
Yeah, man. And you are totally right that like once you get in that rhythm, things start really happening. And like for me, especially, it takes about a solid 30 days to get into that rhythm and things start to really click. And you hear Grant Cardone saying all the time, and I've actually just recently started getting into Grant.
Me
He'll
too.
say that. Oh, awesome. That's cool to hear,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
He's been around for a minute, and I haven't really picked up much, but somebody passed Be Obsessed or Be Average on to me. I learned a lot from that. Then I picked up 10X Rule and been watching other stuff too. So, hey, Grant, there's your free plug. Holler at us. but, uh, but yeah, man, he says the devil is in the white, and he's talking about your schedule. So, it's super important. Like even me, I've been grinding hard now for a minute. It's still important to me. But like as you're starting out, it's even more important to have your entire day scheduled, from like wake up to I schedule Facebook posts to I schedule when I'm gonna take a shower and how long I'm gonna be in the shower, what time I'm gonna eat breakfast, and how much time I'm gonna allot myself to eat breakfast, so I can go from thing to event to event to event and be as efficient as possible throughout the day. And it is able to get you into that mind frame of things to where you're able to move effectively throughout your day. And then eventually it just becomes effortlessly because you've been doing that so long. You know, like I haven't slept with an alarm in so long. I wake up between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. literally every single day. And I wake up when my body feels like it should wake up. You know, I don't have anything disrupting my sleep like an alarm, but I wake up and begin my day. But it took a little bit of training and a little bit of days of being tired and groggy to train myself to do that. But once you start doing that, it all becomes so easy and everything else just falls into place. It's pretty solid. It's a great way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that I've been working on a lot lately and trying to improve is the schedule, because
Yeah.
you know I come from a background where like I did not like school at all. I completely rebelled against school, and school was always telling me make a schedule, get organized, make a schedule, and I just hated it and didn't want to do it. And then as I grew older, you know, I was like, I had this mindset where I had to be creative. You know, let me do whatever I want. Like I don't need any schedule. I don't need anything tying me down. Um, but you know, I really realized that if I want to be creative, if I want to be an entrepreneur, if I want to get shit done, like now, not later, but now, I need to schedule it. I need to make sure I'm following a system. And it was a huge realization for me in 2017, especially like since the beginning of 2017. That's when I've been really pressuring myself to get into it because like you probably know this, Andrew, my goal right now this year is to put out a song every month, a music video every month, and put out a new book every month. And so for me to be able to do that, to create that, to market that, to promote, to get it out there into people's hands, like I need to have a schedule.
Yeah, that's a
I need to
lot.
be on top of my stuff, right? And so
Yeah.
that's been a big challenge for me right now. What kind of tell me, how do you schedule things? You said I know like I think people by now understand the importance of the schedule, like it's so important. But
Mhm.
how do you do it? Like how do you get yourself to say, okay, you know, this is what needs to be done at this time and everything?
Well, I think it's different for each and every person, but you have to make sure, like, as you're getting your schedule, like, I like to schedule out 30 days at a time, honestly, for the most part of what I'm going to be doing. And as you're getting that general schedule together, I'm thinking of all my A list activities and all my B list activities. You know, like the A list is the stuff that's super important to me. It has to be done these next 30 days for me to hit my, you know, my 3 month goal, my 6 month goal, my 1 year goal, my 5 year goal, my 20 year goal. You know, it all leads to the next. Then my B stuff is that other stuff that I can combine in there, and I'll find time to sprinkle it in there here and there. But I'm building my schedule around my A list activities. Then for me personally, I like to wake up early and start, like, you know, get my mind going and start creating content to share, you know, people in my group and on my pages and all that good stuff in the morning, just because, you know, nobody up is up at the house to disturb me. And I feel like in the morning I'm just super creative. And then from there, you know, I actually do I do self education and actually write my goals every single day. uh, One thing I started doing towards the end of 2016 is I've been buying a lot of audiobooks, and as I'm getting ready and in the shower every day, I listen to audiobooks, so I can crush about a good 45 minutes of an audiobook every day. And that a lot of that usually I listen to something in the morning to prep me for my sales day, and then I go into my sales day, you know, get all my sales stuff done, hiring, training, going out, putting deals up myself. And then the nighttime, I usually reserve for working on my social media business as far as making sure all my clients are taken care of. And then lately, I have been doing a little more prospecting and dealing with clients. And then uh, I think as entrepreneurs and, you know, people trying to be successful, and you're a little younger than I am, so you're not in the same boat. Like, you can put 110, 130 of yourself into it. But I have a family and a 2 year old. And I think where a lot of people lose it in their schedule is making sure that you schedule your family time in. So at night, you know, I make sure there's plenty of time, family time, where I put my phone down, I'm not on my laptop, and I'm 100%, 110% invested in them, like I am in my throughout my day. And I feel like that's my perfect schedule, and maybe everybody else's might not be that way, but I think that's like the skeleton for the schedule. And if you put it in your fucking order and that all that, I'm sorry, I apologize for language, but all that stuff, uh, you're going to find what works for you. But I feel like those are the pieces, and that's how my schedule works. But you can use that as an outline to help get your schedule.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And man, fucks are fine. Like, 'cause if you get offended by that, like, you need to seriously, like, you gotta focus. You got shit to do. Like, you don't have time to get offended. You got a mission in life. Like, we only live one life, and so, anyways, enough
Yellow.
about that. That's totally true, man. I think it's a smart idea to schedule even the stuff that you think you wouldn't schedule, like the family time. Um, and for me it's been like fun time or time with friends or stuff like that, because I get in a kind of routine of always scheduling the daunting tasks. Like, okay, this is
Yeah.
daunting, I better schedule it, right? But I've learned to also schedule the fun tasks and the fun things. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go and like play guitar for an hour and just mess around and just be creative or whatever, or I'm gonna go and hang out with the friends, or I'm gonna invite people over to watch a movie or something. So I've learned to
Hmm.
schedule that, as well as the daunting tasks and the little tasks. And I really love what you said about the audiobooks. That's something that people, I think, could really use. It's so practical because I've been doing it for years, just listening to audio programs while you're doing stuff, right? Like, I put on a video, for example, if I'm watching a podcast video or a training video or anything, I pick up my guitar and I literally play scales while I'm watching the video. And then I have my notes on the one side of my computer, and I take notes when I hear something. And I go back to my guitar and I pause it and I take notes. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it's really powerful to be able to do multiple things at once. And multitasking is dangerous because it's not natural. It's not something that we're meant to do as human beings. Um, it Science has showed that it just makes us dumber. Like, it literally lowers our IQ when we try to
Hmm.
multitask and mess with things. So be careful when you're doing that kind of thing. But seriously, if you're in the shower and you're usually just thinking, or you're doing dishes and you're usually just thinking, throw something on and replace those thoughts with something empowering. It's huge, man.
Yeah.
Huge.
I agree with that, man, and that's a great point about multitasking because I think in like our generation, we've been super multitasking our whole lives between like watching TV, texting, having a real conversation going, and maybe playing a board game or a video game, all at the same time. Uh, but I do think that a lot of us have trained ourselves to where we can multitask and not be stupid to a certain point. And like a personal reference that I'm going to use, like I used to play online poker full time, and I actually could optimally play at my six tables. Six tables at once is how I played most profitable. If I played four tables, I actually got bored because there wasn't enough stimulation for me, and I wouldn't play as well. If I played seven, I could still win at 7 to 12, but not as optimal as six. And anything over 12, my win rate was dropping quite a bit. So I think if you practice multitasking, you'll find a lot of success with it. But if you're not used to multitasking, don't try to do four things at once yet. Start with doing two, then three, and then four. And that's how I built up in the poker game playing tables. I played two tables, three, four, up till six. I didn't just jump in and start playing a bunch of tables. But I think multitasking can lead to optimal levels of thinking because there's so much stimulation going on. But you just have to condition yourself and train yourself to do that, like anything else.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. If you're starting any new habit or any new system, or you're trying to change your life in any way, it's best to just start small. I mean, I'm telling you, I've tried so many times where it's like, I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to get everything I got. And eventually I just burn out and I'm just done. Right? Like, it happens, man. And so that's why it's so important. Just start small. Build your confidence, man. Build your ability with
Yeah.
anything, multitasking, with skill development, with personal development, whatever it is you're after. Just take your time, like patience, right? Because I'm telling you, it really sucks to go hard, think you got it. Oh, I got it, man. I'm going so hard. And then one day just be like, holy shit, like, I'm burnt out. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't do anymore. It's so much better to be steady and consistent rather than sporadic. Oh, I'm going to do really good for a week and then screw off for 2 weeks and then go hard for a month and then just like mess around. Like, pick something steady and consistent that works for your life. That's it's the only sustainable way to do it, right? If you're after, that's it. If you're looking for the long term and you're not looking for the short term, If you're looking for the short term, it makes sense to go hard right now because you'll get it right now. But if you have a vision for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years, then it's a completely different story when it comes to how you're going to go about your goals. Actually, that's a good transition, Andrew. I want to talk to you about your vision. What's your vision for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years?
Man, I have some super huge goals for these next few months, year, 5 years, everything from right now. Is that somebody calling my phone or yours? Let me close. sorry guys. This is live, but yeah. So my near future short term goal is, I don't know, a lot of you guys are probably that follow me are familiar with my company and my organization, Hustlers Anonymous. It's a group of me and other hustlers that we just like to put our knowledge out there to help people. And then I also do my social media consulting through that. And I have transitioned and moved my door-to-door teams under that LLC as well. But I've had so many people say that, they enjoy the motivational content. They feel like they could use some more help with the sales training. They could use some more help with social media training. I've actually begun a process of working on a program that's going to be called Hustler University, to where it's going to have a thing called the Hustler, Unlocking the Hustler Mindset, to where I've actually used my sales ability and what I've done to meet up with some of the biggest hustlers that I've ever met and discussed what makes them tick. And I actually have unlocked all that, and I'm putting it together in a program to share with people to help them understand the hustler mentality and how they can unlock that within their own mind if they haven't already, or maybe even step their game up if they have. Then we also have a sales training program that we're dropping that's going to be super thorough, from everything from your classic, outbound selling, inbound selling, selling through text messages, selling in groups, everything, selling in the modern world. And then the third program will be, it's called Social Media Takeover, to where I'm just going to bombard the world with pretty much all the social media knowledge I have, as far as building a presence, how to optimally run your page, building a following, how to create content for your specific followers, building a group, building an email list, running ads on Facebook, and that's going to be the social media part of it. And then the last thing is, I've actually teamed up with my newest client, who I actually just brought on, one of the two I was talking about, a wellness and fitness coach, and she's creating a fourth program where we're going to have a fitness program, because I think a lot of people out there that are putting content out forget how important fitness is to your hustle and having the right diet. Like, I think that's huge to it. So we're actually going to put that in our program, all four programs. They'll be done. It's going to take 3 months. We're doing everything right. I just inked the deal with my video guy, and we just started, recording content. But everything will be out in 3 months, and it's going to be called Hustler University. You can buy each course separately or all of them. You go through the courses. I'm going to mail you your certified hustler degree, put it on your wall, put it on your Facebook page, take it to your employer and tell them you're a certified hustler. So that's my short-term goal in 3 months, to get that program out and help as many people with that as I can, and get as many certified hustler maniacs out there as we possibly can.
Man, that's amazing. I love how detailed your vision is. You know what I mean? Like, you really have a good idea of what's happening in the next 3 months, the next year. So that's really powerful, man. I'll tell you a little bit about my overall vision, like the big vision I'm looking towards, like 30, 40, 50 years down the line, is I really want to be considered a true leader in the world, because of my contributions in specifically like the entertainment and education world. Those are the two worlds that I see there's so much influence and power on how we behave as human beings, and ultimately how we behave is the game, right? And
yeah,
education influences that, entertainment influences that. And so the big vision for my life is to have programs like you're saying, programs that help people with their health, with their mindset, with their spirituality, with their business, with their relationships, like every single area of life. I think that's really important and that matters. Those are the areas of life that I want to master for myself, first of all, because I see that as like the ultimate way of life. Like you have control over what you're doing. Like, where you're going, how you're going to do it, and everything. And you have every area of life in balance as much as possible. That's what I'm after. And to help other people achieve that as well, because there's just so much unnecessary suffering everywhere, all over the world, and like whatever I could do to eliminate unnecessary suffering and create unlimited abundance for all. Like that's, and for me, you know what that looks like? That's music, that's art, that's this show, that's events, that's programs and courses, curriculums, um, crazy stuff, skits, whatever I could do to entertain people, educate people, most importantly, empower people to take control of their lives and make it their masterpiece, you know, really become the master of their lives. That's what I'm after overall.
That's pretty awesome, man. For me, once you get a little longer term outside of you know, the next year, 3 years, 5 years, like I think the next 5 years are going to be all 110% hustle for me. You know, I'm building an empire right now. But you know, the 5 year goal for me is to actually build an empire that's so strong and has so many leaders within it that I've helped develop to where I can put one of them in charge of it and step away, and then really go out and maybe hit the motivational speaker circuit or go speak to youth or people in prison and pass my story along to inspire people to, you know, to show them what they can do and that good thing. And then honestly, I want to just be able to coach my kids' sports teams, you know, essentially be retired, pass my story along to people, and you know, live out my life like that. Maybe play a little bit of poker, but that's my 5 year goal. I plan on creating as much content as I can this next 5 years, helping as many people as I can, and then you know, stepping away and letting somebody else take over and run the world.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So, let's get back on the topic of systems. So, with that big vision in mind, right? That huge vision that is like, you know, so daunting, you can't even tell whether or not it's possible or whether or not you'll ever achieve it, but you know you're after it. You know that's what you want. What kind of systems do you put in place on a daily basis, right? So if for you, if it's you know, creating content, right? So what would you do then towards that big vision?
So I think where most people lack when it comes to like pursuing their goals or really anything in life is procrastination. And I know I've struggled with that a ton myself, just because I think, you know, you grow up and you go to school and you don't really like going to school, so you're putting off everything there to the last minute. It's over to your professional life and your goals. So I had to break that habit with me. So like I was saying earlier, the number one system for me to put in place to defeat procrastination is the schedule. You know, number one is the schedule. Number two is how I start my day. You know, like how you start your day is how the day goes. So the very first thing I'm doing is putting myself in the right mindset to begin the day. You know, I wake up, I meditate for about 20 to 30 minutes, and you know, I'm saying, hey, today is going to be an awesome day. I'm going to do some amazing things. Today is going to be amazing. I am amazing. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to create some killer content. I'm going to find some people to help, you know, and then that just carries on to my day. And then I also make sure early in my day, I write down all of my goals and put them on paper, long-term, short-term goals for that specific day. And like goals that are so crazy. Like I have a goal to get an endorsement from Coke. You know, real real hustlers don't drink Pepsi. We only sell Coke. You know, there we go. Give my endorsement. But I have crazy huge goals, and I put them on paper every day. So I have to see them, and I have to remind myself how hard I have to grind the rest of the day to make those things happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a huge point, man. You know, aside from the schedule, there's like for me, the schedule's been the tough part. It really has been. But you know, just keeping busy, doing the same thing every single day that you have to do, right? And keeping that vision in mind too, because I find sometimes we get caught up in the day to day and we forget about the whole reason we're doing what we're doing, right? And so, you know, for me, I'd say the same thing. Keeping that schedule to start of the day is huge. It's so huge. Like I wake up and like you said, I meditate, I exercise every morning. I make sure I write down all my goals. I'm reading my document of like, you know, golden nuggets of knowledge that I just want to embed and like create true belief systems within myself. So I think for anybody else, step 3, I think would be just figure out what works for you, man. Like it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, for the longest time I was it's just not into meditation. Like it's not my thing, and I'm still not all that into meditation. I prefer like I prefer yoga more than meditation, or I like go for a walk, right? But either way, it's a form of mindfulness. It's a form of clearing your mind and focusing in on what matters most. Because that, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is eliminate the distractions, all the distractions out there, all the you're probably on social media looking at distractions. You're probably, got people calling you, texting you with a bunch of distractions. You probably got traffic with a bunch of distractions. McDonald's is over there with a bunch of distractions. Eliminate all of that and focus in on what do you want in life.
That's huge,
and go
man.
after it. Mm-hmm.
That's super huge, man. I'm so glad you said that. Eliminate distractions, because I think like a lot of people that follow this and watch this they're gonna get off here and set some huge goals that are gonna be outside the parameters of what they're gonna be able to do over the next couple months, and that's okay. Your goals should be that big, but when you're starting out, like if you have a goal to, like Gary Vee always says, to own the New York Jets, and right now you work at Subway, or maybe you work at a car dealership, you're gonna have to work outside your normal 9 to 5 hours and put in some time to make to build your future. You're talking at least starting out 12 to 16-hour days of hustle consistently, whether it's going to your normal job to make sure you can pay your bills, and then building your side business in the off hours. And a lot of you guys are like, man, I don't have time to do that. You do. You have distractions, things that aren't feeding your goals, Netflix, Hulu, Xbox, man, like you were saying, social media. There's so many distractions out there, especially in this world. And maybe you have friends and family members that are distracting you and just sucking your energy and not feeding your goals, or telling you can't do it. Cut them off. I mean, like, what do you do when you go home? If everything you do when you go home isn't leading towards your future or your dream, cut it out and put something in that place. It's that simple. Eliminate the distractions.
Boom, man. So that's it. We had a great chat, man. We're gonna have to end the episode, but tell people where they're gonna find Andrew and the Hustlers Anonymous.
For sure. So you can find Andrew Sales, the head hustler, on the Hustlers Anonymous Facebook page. We have a Facebook group called Hustlers Anonymous. You can shoot me a friend request on my page, Andrew Sales, SAYLES, or you can find me on Instagram, close _some sales, because that's what we do. My name's Andrew Sales. I want to help hustlers hustle harder. If there's anything I can help you with as far as motivation, sales, or social media, feel free to reach out.
Boom. You guys got it. Make sure you guys get a hold of Andrew. It's really cool, the stuff he's doing. If you guys want to support what we're doing at Implicit, follow us at Implicit Nation. You can also support us at patreon.com/implicit. Get some books, some programs, some courses, some coaching, some mastermind, some tickets to a live show, whatever it is that you want. We'll give it to you. All right. So thank you guys. Peace. Angela, let's see the peace sign.
Peace out, guys.
He's got it. Peace.
Later.